Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to test out a really simple, cheap, easy bug out meal up here in the mountains. Alright, thanks for coming back. I was up here doing some target shooting. This is up about, I don't know, 3,500 feet above our town. And I'm going to pick up the camera so you can see the town really quick. And the noise you're hearing in the background there, there you go, that looks good, you get the idea. The noise you're hearing in the background there, those cars and those engines, is the Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch that's off that way about 7 miles. They have a big place out here where people come to race their exotic vehicles and their street legal race cars and all that fun stuff. So anyway, we're going to have to put up with that during the duration of this video. But what I got here today is a simple meal that if you don't have a lot of money for, say, MREs and expensive freeze-dried stuff, and you want to just throw it together really quick and toss it in your bug-out bag or your get-home bag or whatever, you can do that. And it's rather inexpensive. It does require a little more maintenance, especially on these singles. This rice tends to last a long time packaged the way it is, but the singles will sometimes spring leaks and they'll go bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this up and get this little propane burner and also test out the propane burner up here. And I'll set everything up for you and we'll be right back. Alright, so I got the first one, first little Spam cut up. Generally what I do with these, I don't have a cutting board with me today, so I just take them out and I'll place them on the pack itself and cut them kind of like that. And yes, this is one of those new Walmart Christmas $4 knives. Figured I'd bring it out here and use it for this video. And by the way, it was dull as anything when I got it. I was able to put a really nice edge on it, but it was really dull. The first few that I purchased a while back were actually pretty good. This one was pretty dull. So anyway, we've got our Spam going, or we're going to have our Spam going in a second here. We fire up the grill. There we go. Drop that on there. And I got an old wrapped fork from an older MRE. I think it was one of the Canadian ones. So what you want to do with this, with the Spam singles, they're really inexpensive. I think they're like $1 something, $1.50, $1.80, I don't know. They're not expensive. They're an easy way to transport it, you know, without having to lug around a can of Spam with you. And then I just buy these. Now these are just those Uncle Ben's whole grain, fully done, you know, rice. They're already cooked. All you really got to do is heat it up. And this is a very cost-efficient, simple way to get your bug-out food going. And this thing here, this is just an old, this is stuff I bring out to test with. This is an old pot that I got from some cook kit many years ago. Really don't exactly know where I got it from. It's just one of those things that appeared along the way. It has a lid to it. It's not a bad, you know, it's not a bad pot. It's just not something I would use in a bug out kit because it's aluminum, it's a little heavier. So generally what I'll do is I'll just brown up the Spam and toss in the rice and mix everything up. And once we get that Spam browned up, I'll bring you back. We'll toss in the rice and we'll toss in some of these Thrive freeze-dried snackies. These are Cheddar Bites. There we go, we're in camera now. These are Cheddar Bites. I want to see how they work. Just tossing them in with a little bit of food and a tiny little bit of water. See if I can make this a little cheesy along with everything else too. So we'll be right back once that's browned up. Alright, so I got it nice and browned up. Got a little burn on the bottom of the pan, but again, this isn't an optimum pan for doing this. This is more of just something I test stuff out in. So we're going to take the rice and toss a little bit in. And this particular Santa Fe rice makes an excellent meal because you got your corn, carrots, you got all your veggies in there, so you're not just eating Spam and rice. You're getting a little nutrition out of there. And I open up the snackies. I'm going to toss a few of those in and see how they work. I'm also going to toss a little bit of water in here just to keep everything from burning and to help hydrate those snackies a little. And again, if you hear that racing noise, I know it's annoying, just ignore it. It's the raceway down all the way at the bottom of the mountain. Every time they get into this corner, they make a whole lot of noise. But if you guys ever figuring out a place to learn how to race cars, Gosh, they got Cadillac sponsorships out there. They got a ton of stuff. So it's a pretty cool place. Just kind of noisy when I'm trying to do a video. And again, you can pick these up on the site. I'll link the site down below. They have these snackies and all sorts of different types of food. You got peas, corn. And I'll tell you something, the corn, I've had the corn, and the corn is really good. It's kind of like a crispy cornbread snack. You know, you can eat it and it's kind of crispy and not too bad. So anyway, this is a good way for you to toss in a little meal here and make yourself a little quick bug out meal without too much hassle, without spending a fortune. And again, I want to test out the stove at altitude here because I know these isobutane propane combination type stoves don't do too well at altitude. And again, we're only like 3,000 feet or so. So we're not, you know, ridiculously high. But I wanted to make sure it would work because this gives you a good overview of the town, and it might be a good bug out location to some extent, you know, where we're at here. We're kind of hidden. And if worse comes to worse, I came out to train, do a little target shooting, do a little practice, and I get to practice cooking out in the wilderness. So let me see one of these guys here. Yeah, that's actually really good. The crispiness of the dehydrated cheese is kind of good and was mixed in with everything else. Anyway, there you go. Quick little simple bug out meal you can make on your propane burner stove. Super cheap, easy to put together. Just some of that individual Spam. One of these can probably make about 2 because I got about that much left over in there. Some of these snackies if you want to toss them in. And you got yourself a good meal. Now, one thing I will tell you with this is when using the Spam and the rice and stuff you buy off the shelves, you want to make sure that you check your bug out food probably once every season. I know some YouTubers have come across some of the Spam and the individual singles that kind of don't taste as good or may not have done too well. And I recently actually found a can of Spam that had gone bad in one of my bug out tubs. I was rotating it and it had blown up, just big puffy, you know, didn't explode, didn't open up, but it definitely did pop open. So anyway, I want to thank you for joining me today and showing you how simple it is to have a setup in your vehicle, in your bug out kit, maybe in your everyday carry. Make yourself a little quick meal in the middle of nowhere here, even if we got a whole lot of cars to deal with in the background. And have yourself a good meal. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.